Hello students. In the previous videos, we only had the the unknown appearing once in the equation. Now let's go back to this slide here. I call it the big picture because it turns out that sometimes before we can go ahead and find the unknown, we have to do some rearranging of the formula. So in particular, let's look at step 2 of the big picture. We've already done step 3 and step 4 using AMIB to solve the equation and checking the answer. But sometimes the variable or the unknown appears on two sides of the equation. So what we're going to have to do is before we start to solve the equation using AMIB, we're going to have to rewrite the equation so the variable only appears on one side of the equation, either the left side or the right side. So let's show you how this is done. Okay, so if you look at the equation in the upper left, 5y plus 6 equals 2y plus 15. So the obvious difference between this equation and previous ones is I've got the unknown on both the left and the right. Now, if you think of this as being a balance, it's like having 5 boxes of an unknown weight plus 6 kilograms balances 2 boxes with the same unknown weight for each box, plus 15 kilograms. And in order to be able to use AMIB for this, what we have to do is either remove the 5y from the left or the 2y from the right. Now, there's no correct answer as to which we have to do, but in general, I try to avoid negative coefficients on my unknowns. It just makes the solving a bit easier. So I could subtract 5y from that side and 5y from that side, but 2 subtract 5 gives me negative 3. So I'm better off subtracting the smaller amount, the 2y, from each side of the equation. Now again, the reason for that is 2y take 2y goes to 0. 0 plus 15 is 15. 5y take 2y is 3y. And there's our new equation. And again, we're back to one that we've seen before. So now we can finish this one off in 2 steps. So we subtract 6 from both sides. That leaves me with just 3y on the left and 9 on the right, and therefore y must be 3. Okay, so when we check this, it's slightly different. We've got to show that the left side and the right side give us the same value. So 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 6 is 21. And 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 plus 15 is 21. So that is the correct answer. Okay, I'll do another one. This time I've just got a k there. Of course, that really is 1k, so it might be worth writing that 1 in front of the k. So what I'm going to do first, again, take away the smaller amount. The 1k is smaller than 3k. So subtract 1k from each side. And that leaves us with 6 plus and 3k take 1k is 2k. Plus 1k minus 1k disappears. And we end up with a pretty simple little equation. So we've seen ones like this before. Read it as 2k plus 6. So therefore I can take 6 from both sides, leaving just 2k on the left. 7 minus 6 is 1. Divide both sides by 2. And k equals 1/2. So let's go ahead and check this one. Often if you get fractions, it gets a bit too hard to substitute unless you use a calculator, but this one's not too bad. 3 times 1/2 is 3.5. Sorry, 3 times 1/2 is 3 halves, which is 1.5. 6 plus 1.5 is 7.5. And 7 plus 1/2 is 7.5. So that one I can check in my head. And the correct answer is k equals 1/2. Okay, so guess what? It's your turn to try a couple of these questions now. Okay, so stop the video and solve both of these equations for h. Okay, welcome back, students. Okay, well, the first thing I have to do, look at the equation. I've got 2h on the left, 9h on the right. Situations like this, subtract the smaller amount, or the term with the smaller coefficient. And that's going to leave me with just a -3. Maybe I should change that to plus -3 to emphasize that that's really a -3. It's a common mistake that students make, is they see the 3 there and just copy the 3 down. And 9h, take 2h is 7h, subtract 8. Okay, now we're back to just a standard two-step question. Add 8 to both sides. And that leaves me with 7h on that side. -3 plus 8 is 5. Divide both sides by 7. I'll write the answer on the left. H equals 5/7. Now that one's getting a bit too tricky for me to check by substituting. So the options are to use your calculator, if you wanted to do that, and type in each expression and check that you get the same answer. Or I would often just suggest to kids, just double check your working. So yes, I subtracted 2h from both sides, added 8 to both sides, and divided by 7. So I think I've done that correctly, so I'm going to give it a tick. Okay, the last one, once again, I've got a 1h there. So I'm going to subtract the 1h from each side. That disappears. That leaves just a 10 on the right. 4h minus 1h is 3h. Subtract 5. And we've got a standard two-step equation to solve. Whoops, what did I do that for? Add 5 to both sides. And that leaves just 3h on the left, 15 on the right. Divide both sides by 3. And h equals 5. Okay, this one we can check. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 minus 5 is 15. And 10 plus 5 is 15. So we do get 15 equals 15. And that's the correct answer. Okay, in the next video, we'll do some more equations like this, but they have an extra little twist in them.